Thank you for coming to our Hitting the Mark webinar with our data-driven strategies and our dream team of Ryan and Ryan. Before we really dive into it, let me just tell you the agenda. We're going to do our welcome and intros. We're going to have a really awesome fireside chat with RP Origin and our account executive, Ryan St. Peter from Dotdigital, both experts in their fields. And I would love it if you guys have the opportunity to download the Hitting the Mark report just to let you know what it's about. Um, it provides, valuable insights into the current marketing landscape. We regularly publish this report. This is our 12th year doing it, and it's just a cross-channel report to show you guys like what the top 100 global brands are doing in their marketing practices. So we analyzed data and collection, personalization, email marketing, campaign and design, um, and everything that you'll need to understand like what strengths and weaknesses are going on, in the world right now. Um, and we've got two experts to tell you about it. So you can scan this QR code. If not, there should be an opportunity for you to download it again at the end of this webinar. I have a little resource link up, but there will be multiple opportunities throughout to download it. With that, let's do our introductions with Ryan and Ryan. Ryan Phelan, would you like to tell us about yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Susie. My name is Ryan Phelan. I'm the CEO of RP Origin. We're the only vendor agnostic email centric agency in the space. We work with generally public companies on accelerating their email vision in a host of services from design to strategy, CRM strategy, and production. I've been in the industry for 25 years. And not going anywhere because I've been in this 25 years and I'm too old to go somewhere else. I have worked primarily for ESPs on both sides of the pond and love this industry and everything that it has. So thank you for having me on today.
We're excited to have you. And then Ryan St. Peter, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me here today, Susie. So I'm Ryan. I'm an account executive with Dotdigital. I've been with the organization now for just over 2.5 years, but I come from a digital marketing as well as technology background, and I am wildly obsessed with the customer journey. So, pro tip for all those from the consumer point of view, as we head into Black Friday. Make sure if you're hunting for a deal to make sure you're signed up for email programs, any of those welcome series, your SMS messages, and go ahead and throw an abandoned cart in when you're seeking out a deal because I promise you they're out there and we'll try to save you some dough.
Thank you, Ryan. So we have our awesome dream team of the two Ryans. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now just so you can see us and focus on what we're going to chat about. So you shouldn't be able to see my screen anymore. But let's really just get into it. I think the most important question about hitting the mark is what would you recommend using this report for to start making improvements and recognizing successes in your marketing efforts? And whoever would like to start, please go.
I'll jump in. Number one, I love this report. I love reading it every year. It's fantastic, the insights that we get globally, right? Because we sometimes we live in this echo chamber in the United States, and while there are vast differences in practices between the US and Europe, there are some similarities that we can learn and grow from. What I think on this report is, number one, if you're in retail, you're not going to have time to read anything. So make sure to put a reminder in to read it when you're, on the far side of the holiday hell. But how I like to do this is really look at different sections that are really important to my business to get context, and then I'll go back and reread it for sections that I want to learn from in terms of different perspectives. Maybe I'm not in charge of the website, or maybe I'm just in charge of email. But as a good marketer, you want that spread across different disciplines because it informs how you do things with your own email program or your own vertical inside of your company, and how you interact with those people, what value you could bring. So I think this is a tremendous resource, and look forward to it every year to help me to center not only what I'm doing, but what the consumer is reacting to and how that trickles down downstream into my strategies for clients.
Awesome. I love that. Ryan St. Peter, would you like to share?
Yeah, so I think to add to that, great point, Ryan, about the getting on the other side of the holiday hell here for our retail customers joining. But what I encourage, all of the customers that I work with to do is really to read through it, twice, but from two different
Hmm.
lenses, from two different mindsets. So you take your first mindset and you're really reading it from you have your marketer hat on, but you're taking that time as you review the information to really be honest with yourself and encourage your team to be honest with yourself and create almost a state of the union. What am I doing? What am I not doing? And really being honest about where there are opportunities. Once
Hmm.
you've identified some of those, I think, kind of that second run through or even skim of everything is really, instead of having your marketer hat on, put your shopper hat on. Put your consumer hat on and think of it from a consumer mindset and how, if I was buying your product, whatever it may be, what I would want to see or what would encourage me to buy. And I think when you look at it through those two lenses, it's really going to help you generate some new ideas along with an honest approach of where you're at currently, and you can take those and work with your internal team to really implement 1 to 2 small changes. And you're going to hear me talk about this throughout the webinar today, but like moving the needle when we have to do all of these things and everything's a fire hose. Moving the needle starts with 1 or 2 changes, whether that's every month, every quarter, every week, every year, doesn't matter. Just start making those 1 or 2 changes, and they can be easy things that we're going to
Hmm.
talk about through the rest of the call today.
Hmm. I do that. I try to do that weekly, one or two like really small,
Hmm.
easy things that I can check off, and then look back at the end of my week and go into my one-on-ones and say, look what I did. So yearly, quarterly, whatever it is, definitely beneficial. And this report helps bounce it off. Uh,
They add up. 2 changes a month is 24 changes in a
Oh yeah.
year.
and
It's
perfect.
a it's something I've talked about for years called incremental innovation, which
Oh,
is just
Exactly.
exactly what you guys are describing. So the 1 or 2 changes a week to your email program may not seem like big on the week, but on the month and on the quarter and the year, they are big. They are that incremental, they are that massive change in your program, and not getting ahead of yourself to say, I've got to do 10 things. How about you do one thing really well and let it add up over time?
it's great to look back
100%.
on. I liked what you just said, Ryan. That was great. Um, all right. So one thing that I think was important from this report is that the Americas are focusing on website user experience more and more. How
Mhm.
can businesses ensure that they utilize this channel to drive higher conversions and enhance overall customer engagement?
Yeah, Ryan, I'll go ahead and kick this one off if
Yeah, yeah.
it's okay with you. So, a couple of things here. First of all, zero party data and collecting it has become a huge concept for us. It helps build trust, it helps build loyalty to your brand with your consumer and build it throughout that customer experiences. Now, fewer than 10% of brands that are out there in this report are actually turning those data collection practices into personalized experiences. So think of what that means. And I kind of like to break this down a little bit. And I talked to Susie about this earlier today. Is think of your website as you're walking into a retail store, right? First time you walk into a store, how does that sales associate approach you? Do they ask permission? Are they giving you insightful items that may go with what you're looking at or with your purchasing? Are they complimenting you? On what you have currently and suggesting things that may go along with it. Now, at the same time, maybe you're a repeat customer of that store. You're going back to it. They say, "Oh, hey Susie, it's great to see you again. Thanks for coming in. How's that sweater you bought from us last time? By the way, we got some great new chinos that are going to go along with that. And oh, by the way, how's your fiance doing? What's going on with him? We've got some great outfits for holiday portraits coming up." So you think of it from that kind of store concept and mirroring that to your website. And how we do that, what we do is number one, encourage the login. So make it easy for people to find and then personalize that experience when they come back. And you find ways to include their name, intuitive product recommendations, and then also offering assistance through a chat. Maybe your size isn't in stock, or maybe there's a specific color of item out there that they don't have her in stock. An easy chat button to say, hey, what's going on? And the chat agent saying, hey, by the way, here's a back in stock link for that. Go ahead and click this and we'll remind you when it's back. It's almost that giving that follow-up call when that next thing you wanted is back in stock in your size. So really creating that store experience online is I think really what we're driving towards when we talk more about web personalization. And Ryan, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are around that.
Yeah, I think, and I loved your comments. I think they're spot on. I think um, website UX, especially for retail, has always been a top driver. Everybody's always tweaking, right? And if you think of every vertical out there, and I tell this to financial services and a lot of different verticals, and I love telling this because they freaked out. Um, every consumer experience online is primarily informed by a retail experience because the majority of consumers interact a whole lot more with Amazon, Target, Nordstrom's, right? Pick your shopping
Mhm.
channel. And subsequently, then above that, you do an overlay for the particular vertical. So financial services needs to think about what they're doing in retail and adapt it to what they do in financial services. If I go to a financial services site, as an example, and it looks completely different than Amazon, it's not going to convert because consumers are used to the trusted experience and the non-conscious experience of shopping on retail. Now, that being said, the focus by companies to look at UX and the website means two things for email marketers. Number one, participate in that discussion. So I can remember back in the days of being on retail, making sure that email placement for acquisition didn't go at the bottom, it went at the top. And I had done tests to show if you put it at the top, you get a 50% more sign up rate at the top than at the bottom. And make sure that your pages are optimized along with the rest of the website, right? Just because the
Mhm.
shopping experience is optimized means that that also has to cascade to non-revenue drivers as terms of acquisition. The second thing is that the email marketer needs to adapt to the changes that are happening on the website. Calls to action, imagery changes, pricing, fonts, all those things have to cascade for a consistent look because email is not a conversion driver. Email is a qualification driver. So you qualify a purchase and send it to the website. The website's job is to convert. Email's job is not to convert. Now, email is judged on conversion. That's fine. That's a service of the industry. But you have to adapt so that the consistency between the communication and the fulfillment of that promise is holistic.
Mhm.
So make sure that you're both participating in the discussion and adapting to the changes that go on.
I think that's so well said. I think that's something we talk a lot about here at Dotdigital too, is like keeping it consistent. And sometimes I think we forget like the website and the emails, they go hand in hand. And I like
Mm-hmm.
the idea of thinking about your website as the conversion moment outside of the email, because oftentimes emails are also transactional. So it's not just a promotional email.
Yeah.
Um, Amazing. Thank you. Let's dive into a cross-channel opportunity. We love them here at Dotdigital. In the hitting the mark report, we learned that EMEA and the Americas can really benefit from expanding their marketing mix to include SMS, a tactic that's really being adopted by like APAC, for example, and it's going very well. So how can brands leverage SMS as a cross-channel opportunity and put it into their marketing strategy?
I'll take this one first, if
Go
There
that's
you
on.
okay,
go.
Ryan.
Yeah, of course.
EMEA APAC has different consumer sentiments in terms of SMS.
Mhm.
When you look at APAC, there is a lot more use of SMS than in the United States. Different customer mentality. And so one of the things in the report is that pulls out all these different observations from around the world in different regions. But in the US, I think we have to take a lens to that to say consumers are not yet comfortable with marketing in SMS, at least my opinion. It is the white sheet. And that email is not anymore, right? And and consumers accomplish that white sheet in email by switching email accounts or setting up a new email, right? But I think we want to base more than EMEA and APAC. We want to base our SMS engagement by choice, not by force.
Hmm.
So you just like if we talk about the perfect acquisition trail for email, it's taking somebody to a page, laying out samples of the emails, what you're going to get, the cadence you're going to get, getting some more information, really educating the consumer so you get an engaged consumer, right? That's the perfect, we all go for the short and fast, which is just give me your email address and I'll deal with that downstream. In SMS, it cannot be a shortcut. It cannot be just give me your email address on a checkout and say, hey, would you like SMS text from us? That's the best way to ruin a brand image and the brand equity is to abuse that and not give context for what that communication has got to be. So yes, there is upside for companies to use SMS, but realize that not only is it a permission based, but it's a cohort based that some consumers don't give a crap about SMS and some do. Those are loyal. That may be very well your cohort of loyalists, advocates, discount shoppers. You have to adapt your SMS program for that cohort so you don't abuse the channel for the wrong cohort.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, I would 100% agree with that. And a huge part of it is just the ask and about how you ask
Mm-hmm.
and incorporating preference management in that
Yeah.
ask and getting the permission from the customer and showing them the value that they get from opting in to those messages. And
Mm-hmm.
it could be an incentive, it could be informational based, it could be a number of things that are going to drive that customer in order to get consent. By gaining consent, you've built trust with the customer, and then you build your value through following through with the right types of messaging. And I have a couple of examples. I'm subscribed to a lot of SMS programs. It's my job out there. All types of customers out there. But there are two brands, and these are SMSs that I received this morning. And I had given consent. I've done preference management from them, even though it wasn't easy to find, and I had to go search and manage. The first one was from a shoe brand that I regularly purchase from. It's from Kizik's. So I'm a big guy, lower back pain, anything I can slip and pop on is good for me. The SMS message that I got today was about a shoe called the Pristine Lilac Colorway. And
Oh,
lilac loves me, Ryan. It loves me, Susie.
yeah.
But a women's shoe, like I just felt like I didn't get listened to. And because
Mm-hmm.
I had already given permission I was turned off. I felt like they didn't listen to me. They broke my trust. Another example of that, same sort of concept. So sur la table. So they sent me a message this morning for a stove Dutch oven. I've already bought from them. I bought a Le Creuset and Fire or Flame Orange. Like they sent me the wrong brand that doesn't go with my set in the wrong color, and they didn't take that extra step to look at past purchase behavior and tried to sell me a product I already have, which again turns me off as a customer. But also they missed a huge opportunity because I don't know how many pieces. There's probably 10 or 12 pieces that are in that color and in that set that if they had put that in front of me, I would have said, "Oh, soup season, it's the holidays. I'm probably going to need blah
Mm-hmm.
blah 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 for this." And it goes with the color that I have. Missed an opportunity to build value
Mm-hmm.
for me as a customer. So these are, two opportunities. The first one where they you know, kind of broke trust because they didn't listen to me. And the second one was really I just felt ignored and they missed
Yeah.
opportunity to dig further into data. And these are the kind of things that we have to be thinking of when we're bridging into this channel and really help us deliver high results and high
Yeah.
revenue gains from the channel itself.
Yeah. Because SMS cannot be batch and blast. Full stop. It cannot be. If you're doing batch and blast SMS, you are doing it wrong. Period. It has to be a segmented, approached permission channel because it is more pure than your inbox. Your inbox gets emails from your mom, your dad, your bills, your vacation, whatever. Your SMS, that's where you have quick response. You have a different experience and environment. If you're doing batch and blast, you're competing with the mom, the dad, the best friend. There's less patience for stupid in the SMS inbox than there is in the email inbox.
I think,
100,
no, you go,
100%.
Ryan. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say absolutely less patience. It's, it's something that that people take very personalized. And, when you're thinking about that messaging and that segmentation, it doesn't have to be difficult stuff.
No.
It just has to be very simple, those one or two concepts that you're applying to your messages before you're sending them out, or incorporating it at the right place in your automation. Checking and see, is SMS a high channel that someone engages with? And triggering the SMS based on that, whether if your SMSs are being ignored. So think about the channel, the reach, the time, all of those things when you're incorporating them into the customer journey, and just really make sure that you're taking the message sends with that consumer trust in mind.
Mhm.
hmm Okay, great. I feel like this kind of goes hand in hand what you guys were saying with what you guys were saying, this next question. Um, but according to the report, personalization remains the lowest scoring category globally. Why do you think that is? Could you elaborate and give us your ideas?
People are lazy. This is a rant. I've been on rants for personalization for a long time. Basically, it's this: first name is not personalization. That is limping in.
Mm,
Personalization is making the message relevant for the person, and it takes effort. And the problem is that people don't want to take the effort, and we have to. Our relevance in the inbox is dwindling because we're too fast. We're too busy. And I understand it. I've been on the front lines and I have clients on the front lines. And it is speed to market time. And that takes time and effort. But where I call BS is there are companies that will help you achieve that if you can't do it yourself. Personalization takes work. Automation takes work. AI takes work. Success takes work. And what we've shown over the last 25 years is the more personalized the message is, the better the return. I wrote an article for a pub last month, and I said, if I could double your email revenue, would you listen to me? And it was all about it takes work, and you have to invest in it. And the lack of personalization globally is just a lack of that work. Rant over. Where's the brackets? Little slash. Rant over.
No, that was
That
perfect.
was
And that's
that
kind. That's a kind rant.
that was a great rant, and it's relevant, and it takes work. And I think the things that we talk to our customers about is, we're trying to meet them where they're at and what they're
Mm-hmm.
doing. Like, Ryan, it's amazing that customers that aren't even incorporating that first name, which should be an instant low-hanging thing that you're doing
Yes.
with everything, like that should just be a no-brainer. But like, again, goes back to that one, two easy, consistent steps. Continue to add and develop new segments to deploy your message. Continue reviewing your automation reporting and looking for opportunities for improvement. Just utilize the right product recommendations. If
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I could talk about to my customers is that, product recommendations and the right product in the right email makes it feel so much more relevant so quickly, and they're pre-built for you, utilizing
Mm-hmm.
what customers have browsed and what they've looked like. Make that a goal of yours to learn one of those one or two things this week, how to deploy them and implement them into your messaging, and do that consistently, because your work is then broken out. You don't feel overwhelmed, and you start to make things better and get yourself on an upward trajectory.
Yes. And to your earlier point, stop sending me stuff that's for women. I don't wear women's
Please,
clothes. I wear men's
please.
clothes. It drives me crazy.
Your
Uh,
shopping habits should prove it, and clearly they weren't
yes,
listening.
I have never been to the one retailer I'm thinking of. I've never looked at women's stuff ever. And I get dresses and purses all the time. I'm like, what the hell? And it's just as easy as an if-then statement inside of the editor. If gender equals male, show pants. If gender equals female, show skirt, right? As a basic example. So personalization does not have to be difficult. It means using the tools inside of the ESP to change the message.
Beautiful.
A- Absolutely. My only other bad personalization example is that about once a month I get a mailer from the funeral home down the street to talk to me about
Ooh,
my end of life planning, and I'm like,
wow.
maybe
We're
know
not
your
there.
demographics there a little
I've
bit.
been looking at their
So,
staff to see if they have a psychic on board or something, because that's creepy as hell.
Oh my goodness. I want to ask one more question, not about your end of life planning, Ryan.
no.
But just because this was a bite-sized live 30 minutes, we can't get into every single thing in the hitting the mark report. But a final question I have for you guys is, in your opinion, what are the top digital marketing strategies or practices from this report that you think brands should prioritize for 2025?
Ryan, you go first. I'll let you go.
It's going to come back to a basic, and that's consistency. And it's going to start with web and carrying through all the way to your emails and into your SMS. Consistency in permissioning, consistency in gaining preference management and gaining permission, consistency in building value, along with consistent visuals. So making sure if someone sees a product on the web and sees product recommendations, that's what's showing in their email. Making sure that that experience is consistent, it's repeatable, and it brings value to the consumer. I think that's what we're going to see a lot more of a focus on in 2025.
Thank
Cool. Good
you.
answer. Mine is everything, but at scale, right? We talked earlier about incremental innovation. There are a ton of ideas in here. Pick out one or two, execute on those. Call your account rep at Dotdigital or at your ESP and say, hey, I want to do this idea. How can I do that through the platform? I want to incrementally change my program over time. I think the valley of expansion of what I'm doing today or what a marketer is doing today is infinite. We just have to stop, choose a goal, and implement it and see it all the way through, right? And
Hmm.
and if you're sitting here going, the last 12 months I have done X different. If that X is blank, if you haven't really done anything different, then take this report and find something that you can do that's an easy lift, and then do the next one, and then do the next one,
Amen.
but ask for help. And the people at Dotdigital, the people in the industry can help you get there. You have to raise your hand and ask for it.
Hmm. Awesome. Sorry guys, I was getting like a Slack at the same time, but literally love it. I think a lot of these strategies and a lot of this report is going to be really beneficial to people. Um, if they just take the moment to like look inside and relate it to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And all of you guys saying personalization is important. I can attest. I keep getting texts from a company I didn't even sign up for text messages for. So that first off is
Oh,
illegal. But that's okay. I said please stop. Um, anyways, do you guys have anything else you want to add? I want to give people their days back. There's a lot going on before BFCM and the holidays, so if you want to add anything else, now's your chance.
Have a great holiday. Black Friday has not yet approached. The biggest thing I tell teams is take your team out for a drink.
Mm,
Have a good social time before the crazy hits. If you're not in retail, pray for the people that are. But good luck in making it through, and we'll see everybody on the other side.
awesome. Thank you, Ryan. How about you, Brian?
no, I was just going to wish all of our customers luck. There's last minute questions, things that you have. Ryan said it. We're here to help. We are here to help. Your customer success manager wants to talk to you, and we want the opportunity to really make sure that you're accomplishing these meaningful differentiators for things. But other than that, Susie, thanks a lot for having me today.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you guys. This report will be out, is already out for you. I will send it up in the follow-up email. And you can watch this video by tomorrow. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Susie. Thanks,
See
Ryan.
you soon. Bye bye.
Bye guys. Have a good day.